All right, so yeah, I'm Jonas Egholm, and I think like everyone else, I play guitar. So yeah, I'm from Denmark. I study in Copenhagen currently on the Danish Academy of Music, and yeah, I'm finishing up my masters right now. And currently, I'm in the Eurostrings. You know, uh, I'm one of the Eurostring artists of this year. So it's been quite interesting for me to see everything with the pandemic and stuff like that. So that's who I am. I'm 23. Yeah.
Okay, thank you, Jonas. Now let's go next to Francisco.
Yeah, hello. My name is Francisco. I'm from Portugal. I'm 22 years old. I play the guitar. Yeah. I'm currently doing master degree with Zoran Dukic in Den Haag, and yeah, I guess that's it.
And actually, he is the winner of our last competition in Târgu Mureș. Okay, going next to Péter or Álmos.
Okay. Hello, my name is Álmos, and now I'm a guitar player for the Ventichiavi Guitar Trio, and also I'm currently teaching in three different places, three different age groups, small children, high school students who are going to be guitar players, hopefully. And also I'm teaching in the University of Pécs, professional guitar players and professional potential guitar teachers.
And my name is Peter. I was one of the Eurostring artists of, I think it was the first year in 2018. Yeah, so it's been already 2 years ago. And I'm also a guitar player, as everybody else, and a guitar teacher at the University of Szeged in Hungary.
Thank you. And István, are you with us? I don't know. Okay. So I will be the next one then. So my name is Flórián Babțan-Varga. I live in Cluj. I'm a guitar player from Romania. The thing about me is that I don't just play guitar, I do everything about the guitar. So I do teach, I do organize composers competitions for guitar competition. I do collect lots and lots of musical instruments, all kinds of plugged instruments and antique guitars and mandolins and stuff like that. The only thing I don't do competitions. So that's it. But I do everything else that it's there to do about the guitar and around the guitar. So I'm also studying for my master's degree in Cluj. And I'm really thinking and hoping to do a PhD next year. So that's it. Okay, now I think we can move on and we can try to talk about one of the topics that I wrote here. The first topic in my list are the concerts. So we are talking now about this whole pandemic situation around the world and how can we play concerts even in this situation. There are plenty of possibilities, and I would like to ask maybe Jonas to start and tell us your opinion about this topic, please.
Yeah. So I mean, obviously, it's quite hard to do. But I think some of the solutions has been and are currently, I mean, the online concerts. The thing I think, I don't know what you guys think, maybe you can tune in on this, but for me at least, when I play a concert, I really like to have this communication with the audience, and feel them and be able to speak to them, be able to communicate with them, which is quite hard through these online concerts and Facebook and stuff like that. So I think it's a good solution, it's an okay solution, and I mean, you still get your concerts, but it's a lot more work to put in it than the live concerts, since you have to record the videos, edit them, and stuff like this. So I think actually Harmonia Cordis does really well. I just came home from Romania, from Cluj, where I played a concert. It was really nice. So where they did the thing that I basically traveled to Romania and I played a concert there in a great, beautiful concert hall, but it was without audience, so it was live streamed directly. So I didn't have to record anything beforehand. I just I showed up and I played my concert, which I think was really nice. So for me, that's the closest I've been to a regular concert, now that that's not possible. And I think that was a nice solution, because you kind of sort of imitate the real scenario of playing concerts. I don't know what you guys think about the entire thing with audience, if it's, how you feel about it.
Somebody else?
I can totally confirm. Sorry to say, but or sorry to interrupt, but I can totally confirm. The hardest thing for me is also this loss of communication, and sometimes when I'm playing in front of audience, I'm quite nervous. Other times I'm not, and the presence of the audience inspires me, so I feel I can play better. Or sometimes, and with this whole online situation, I think it's, for me at least, it's more difficult. So I can totally confirm.
Yeah, and it's not just that it's more difficult, but it's also somehow very alien. So it's like a little unnatural to think about it as a real concert, but you are looking at a screen. If you're listening to a concert and you're playing for a camera, if you're playing as a player, so I think it's really should be considered as only a temporary solution, because I think in long terms it will damage the live concert community. Or the other possibility is that when the thing ends, this whole pandemic thing ends, then everybody will be more likely to go to concerts because they are missing these opportunities, they are missing these feelings of real concerts. So that's also probably an outcome, that it will be even more how can I say, I don't know the English words, okay. So but people will be more likely to come to live concerts after the pandemic ends, because they are missing the feeling.
Yeah, I think actually, to elaborate a bit on what Peter said, I agree. Sometimes you play a concert, you are really nervous, and other times you feel amazing. For me, though, that's always sort of a good thing, because that feeling it's almost like you're really alive at the moment. You're really feeling things, and you're really having this experience with people, whether you're nervous or whether it's going bad or good. I mean, that's really besides the point. The thing is, when you record these things, it's just like a studio recording, and you don't get as nervous, and you can do it as many times as possible. And for example, when I've done a lot of these online concerts with Eurostrings, and the concert I was gonna play, I did them online, and the thing with them are, you get to play them, but when you play the concert, you play like the concert maybe 5 times until you have a concert that's nice. So after 5 times of recording, you kind of lose that sort of inspiration and that, being in the music, and it just becomes a sort of a technical thing all of a sudden, if you know what I mean.
Yes, I think I agree, actually. And also adding like a bit more to what everyone already said, which I totally agree. I think we are also thinking about the perspective of as the player, so the person who's doing the concert. Also for the audience is really worse, because especially, for example, I think that the guitar is an instrument that can really make very clear for any kind of audience, can make very clear the difference of colors. So when you make a sotasso, when you make a ponticello, if we exaggerate, it's very clear for who is listening. And as soon as you start recording, if you don't really have the best material to record, or if you don't have very good conditions, you lose a lot of this magic and the reverberation that is, I think, really, really important for the audience, So it's not only really bad for the people who are playing, but also for the people who are listening. So I definitely think it should be something that it cannot be something long term. It should end very quickly, and we should start playing live very soon.
Good point.
You know, sometimes in these conditions, even if you do a live concert, I had a concert with the Philharmonic of Cluj. Now, the Philharmonic of Cluj is one of the most well-known and one of the best orchestras in the whole country. And we did a concert in a park right next to a shopping center. No, it was summer. It was really hot. The sun was blowing like crazy. We all got burned out after the sound check only. So, and you know, we didn't get that feeling. I was listening to the concert after the piece that I played in was over, and I didn't get that concert feeling that I get in a concert hall. So even if you do it maybe outside and live with very few people, you still can miss that really, really great concert feeling. You know, it's kind of strange. So even if we do live concerts, things are different, and it's not that great.
I think countries are gonna start opening. Hopefully, at some point, gonna start opening up like gradually, slowly, slowly, slowly. So I think restrictions will be less. So for me, even if I will be able to play a concert with an audience of 5 people, that's better than nothing. At this point, I think we really have to be like grateful for if we have something like this.
Yeah, I
If we can
totally
get
agree.
tiny little concerts with like 5 people or whatever, that would be a win for me, I think, because even that, yes, it's not the same, but it's really, I mean, it doesn't really matter if you're playing for 500 or 5, in my opinion.
Yeah, and we can already be really grateful. For example, Jonas, we participated in Uppsala Guitar Festival, and actually, even if it was a competition, it actually, at least me, I had the feeling that it felt more like a concert because we were playing actually in a big hall, and we had at least like 40, 50 people watching. So
Yeah,
we can be glad that there are still some festivals that are doing a huge effort to make this happen. Also, of course, Harmonia Cordis. I think that was the biggest example this year. The fact that you could organize this live thing, it was really important, because even if it is in a competing environment, we are still playing for someone, and we are still sharing our emotion. That's really important for an artist, so yeah, a big thanks for Harmonia Cordis for that, and also to Uppsala and to the people who are still trying to make it with all the restrictions, actually.
Okay, so since you were talking about, does anybody have any questions from, somebody who's watching us? If you have any questions about this topic, about the concerts, maybe you can ask some questions.
Flórián, another, I just connect.
Yeah, that's great, István. So,
Okay, I am here too.
okay, so what do you
No,
think
because
about?
we are driving and sometimes I have internet, sometimes not.
Yeah, so that's great that you're with us. Tell me, István, what do you think about the concerts nowadays? What do you think? Where are we heading right now?
Example for the Novum Generation Guitar Festival, it was really interesting. We organized on this way the concert without public. That was the first experience for us, but I think it's still better we organize that way the concert to be in a real time. Much more better just to record and send for the organizer concert, and that's it. Because in this way, if we did live streaming, still it was in real time, and still it was a real concert with real audience. You wasn't in front of the audience, but they should follow you. For me, that in this situation, that is the best version. It's not for the player probably a little bit difficult just to play for 3 cameras because you cannot see the audience. But in this time, I think that is a best version. In the summertime, when the rules that we try to organize like your concert with couple hundred of audience, and I prefer that one. But if we cannot do, with the real audience. I think the best way we organize concert in real time with live streaming. That is my option.
Yeah, and it's a great one actually. Okay, one more thing. So since we couldn't do so many live concerts, I personally got the chance to do some really interesting recording projects, like the virtual guitar orchestra, or I had the opportunity to play with a choir with it was like piano, string quartet, and a full choir. It was really nice also. And still, we have opportunities. I think we just have to look for them and do our best to find something, so we don't get lazy, we don't get lost in this big I don't want to call it shitty, but it will be shitty and it will be recorded. So that's it. And I think we should move on to the next topic, since we already are at 5:21. So the next topic will be the competitions. And I would like to ask Francisco, since he is the winner of our competition, to tell us something about the competitions he did this year. So Francisco, the microphone is yours.
Yeah, well, most of them, as you know, I did them online. Also for Harmonicordis, the first round was online, so I sent a video. It was really great that there was the opportunity to do it live in Harmonicordis and also in Uppsala, as I was talking with Jonas. I think the video experience, the competition, so applying for competition through video is really demanding, in my opinion. I don't know, this is maybe my personal feeling, but when I'm recording, when I listen to myself, I always have the feeling that I cannot feel anything, you know. I listen and it's I can only notice the mistakes, notice the dirty passages, the dynamics that are not really as I want. And I want to tell everyone that probably that's going to be a really common thing. So actually, when we listen to ourselves, we always have a very demanding parameter. So we are always very strict, and we have the tendency to always look at the bad things. But we have to be able to understand that other people don't see the same as us, and other people are not like us. They are not looking for the things that we did wrong. They're actually just listening to it, even if it is through video, which is not the best. So whenever you think that you're playing horribly when you listen yourself in video, it's never as bad as it seems, you know. And this is really important to understand, because I even had doubts about using my video to apply for Harmonicordis. Even there, I had doubts about using the video, because I had the feeling that maybe it didn't sound good for me, you know. And apparently I was wrong, you know. So it's a great exercise, and you just have to give that first step, because from the moment that you get used to do it, you can do a lot of things. And it is really important if you want to keep active on these times, you know, because unfortunately we don't really have so many choices. We have the competitions, some online concerts, but even that is very limited. And yeah, maybe you can post some video or another, but I think it is important this time to try to give your best on that.
Yeah, I totally agree with what you say, especially the fact about, you know, when you record videos and for these competitions, you are never happy, and you're never gonna be. That's the issue. I was in the same situation with the 2-in-1 competition, which is Péter and Finland at the same time. And for both the first and the second round, I've never been more dissatisfied with my result or with the way I played, you know, because you're just so focused on what sounds bad instead of actually how it really sounds, you know. Yeah. So I think you're completely right about the fact that people are listening. They're not hearing what you're hearing, you know. They're different people. They have different focuses on you. And that even goes for concerts as well. I feel like these online concerts that we're doing is the same. And even with these rounds, even though it's not bad enough, still moved on to the next round. So it's really, I mean, it tells a lot that, okay, you know, it is probably okay the way you're playing. You're just more hard on yourself, you know.
It kind of looks like the video is almost like capturing your mistakes. That's the thing I have sometimes.
Yeah.
So yeah,
you only hear your mistake, and then you start noticing like, oh, I don't look interested, or you start noticing everything that's wrong about it instead of actually what's good. Another thing for me that has been quite interesting with recording competitions and concerts is also the audio quality, and how I found how important that is actually. And I found often I did one competition where I used like the microphone from my phone, and the obviously sound quality was horrible, and there was no editing afterwards or nothing. It was just a video, and that didn't go well. Then I did some other ones which were with microphone, and I did some editing after to make it sound better and stuff, like put some good room on and stuff like that, which they recommend you do, and then it just works way better. And you have to think of it kind of like a CD recording also. The sound quality needs to be good, and the position of the microphone. So I think actually I learned a lot from it as well, generally, about how to set up everything yourself recorded. You're always used to having a guy doing it for you, but doing it yourself has been really fun for me actually.
Actually,
I really wanted... Sorry, continue, Francisco.
Sorry. Actually, all the competitions I did was also recording with phone. So I totally get you. I had to like put it in the right position in the way that you don't hear like this kind of blurriness, and then you have to choose really the right room, because otherwise it just really sounds everything unclear. So I did everything with my phone, and I feel those difficulties. There was once even that also like the phone captures a lot of stuff. So there was once where I even one recording which I sent to a competition where you could listen to my dog walking on the other room. His nails crawling on the floor, and could hear while I was starting the piece. So recording material is really important. If you have the opportunity to invest in that, do it.
Yeah, I really wanted to talk about this because as I was going through the videos for our competition, I really saw that everybody does it differently. Somebody does it with a phone, somebody does it in a really good studio environment, and the sound quality differences are huge. So this thing really matters, I think, in the competition, because it's the general the general feeling that convinces the judge or the jury member to decide for you or against you. And all these factors, I think they are really important. I don't know if I'm right or not.
I mean, sound-wise, I noticed that.
Exactly.
For example, I play on like a traditional Spanish guitar, a mandolin, and the guitar is very sharp already, or like it's a dry guitar. It's really, really nice. I love it. But when you put it into like a phone microphone or something like that, it just sounds like almost a Western guitar, It's so bad. So I've really realized like, okay, I really need to have a nice microphone in a good room, a proper distance from the guitar, like close enough. And I really realized that it changes the instrument so much, like what microphone you use and stuff like that. So I also think judges are listening to that, and they don't know if it's a good or a bad microphone, so they kind of think, oh, he has a bad sound, or
Exactly.
Yeah.
It was the thing that I was a bit commenting a bit earlier. Like, it is really important to really notice the difference of colors that you can make and the kind of sound that you can take. So of course, for the audience, and also especially for a jury that is way more sensitive to that. So yeah, that's really important.
Okay, since we have only...
So during this year, I did not have the opportunity to apply to a competition as a competitor, but I had the opportunity to be in a jury, both for little children and also for one of the professional competitions. And I think this whole situation is like a snake biting its own tail, because so what Jonas and Francisco also said, that when you're recording for like 5th time or 6th time, mostly you are focusing on your own mistakes, what you did wrong in the previous like 5 takes, and I think it takes you away a little bit from what this really should be about. And also as a jury member, listening to totally different kinds of recordings, like with phone recordings and like studio recordings are totally different. Even though the organizer asked us not to look at this like very seriously and try to keep it in mind that different people have different means of capturing a video. And no matter how hard I tried, it was still very difficult to not hear it like a professional studio recording sounds way better than like a phone recording. And not just only it sounds better, but one can think that so he's a better player because the sound is better. It might not be the case, but recording with a phone and I don't know, sitting on your own bed and like empty beer bottles on the desk behind you, it's so it makes a recording a little bit more unprofessional. I know, because last year I've seen a diploma video at the university where there was an empty wine bottle on the desk, and okay, so I know it's not so strict, but anyway, it's a little bit funny and weird at the same time. So I think this is a very difficult situation for competitions, but this is the best we can do. So life cannot stop. Life has to go on. And regarding the circumstances, I think it's kind of the best way to follow.
Yeah, I want to add that these technical difficulties that we face with the recordings, with the way how can we make the sound the best we can, it's also a good warning to the universities and the teachers that these things are things that I haven't learned in university. So it was not discussed at all. Or maybe one or two minor classes were about, okay, what kind of room acoustics are there in the word, but it was more like lexical stuff, nothing useful. So as teachers, I think we should prepare our children and our students to actually care about these devices, how they work, what is auto gain control, what devices should we use when we are recording, because there are so many hidden variables that we are not aware of that can damage the quality of the sound, and it is something that is not taught in universities. At least I haven't heard about it at all during my studies. So it was something that we had to figure out ourselves.
No, also when I studied, no one told me about these things, or no one really, they don't talk about it, and it's very important because at some point of our life we have to do it, with or without Corona. We have to record videos a lot of times, so it is important to learn. Yeah, I agree.
You know, actually, when the pandemic hit back then in March, the first thing that I did was buying a new laptop, an audio interface, and started to learn sound recording, sound editing, and video editing. That was the first thing I did, and I learned it all by myself. So I think this is a very good opportunity to try these things because they are really important. And I think nobody will teach us, so we have to do it by ourselves. We have to try, we have to do it, and we have to find some. You know, universities in Romania just started to teach sound engineering, but we have like lots of old sound engineers, even like 50, 60 years old sound engineers, and they all did it by themselves. So if they did it, you know, like professionally, I think we can do it too. It's not that hard. We just need to think about that too and keep it in mind, and maybe buy microphones sometimes like Jonas did just recently and things will be okay. So we have 6 minutes left. I don't know if we can take like a big topic. I don't know. Maybe let's try the organization. I think that will be shorter than the teaching and learning topic. You agree?
Does anyone in the audience have questions?
Really? So yeah, that's a good idea. So if anybody has some questions about these two topics, about the concerts and the competitions, if anybody has some questions, speak now, or I don't know it in English.
Remain silent.
Forever.
I think a small comment I actually have is I think it's actually a great lesson for everyone. I think everyone who's done these recordings, because watching how the society is like moving towards getting more and more, digital and stuff like this, I think stuff like video and self-recording is quite important. And I think it's actually a really good lesson to learn, because you might use it and you might want to use it. You might one day want to do videos or stuff like that. So I think it's really, really actually a great opportunity. That's one good thing this end of the world has brought us, I think.
No, actually, I was talking in a masterclass with Julia Balare about these things about the recording, and she told me that she did her first recording like recently, her first homemade recording, and it was so bad that she will never do it again. So if she wants to do a proper recording, she will go to a studio, or she will go to Sikas or somebody, because she doesn't want to do it. So you can choose this option too, but I think most of us will do it at home, or do like small homemade studios and do it there. It
requires work, but it's really it's actually fun, and it's part of the job, I think, as well.
I totally agree. I love it.
If it's not fun, it's a great exercise. So you get better than me. Yeah. So, yeah.
What I found out during these months is that even though I know how hard it is to record like a perfect video, or like a video I can accept and I can stand by it. So even though when I'm listening to like a home concert or something like that, which is not professionally edited, so no cuts, no sound editing, no nothing, my ear and in this whole like digital world, I'm set up that I want to hear like a studio recording. If I do not take it into consideration that this is, even though this is a video and this is like a sound recording, which is not perfect, of course. I know it's not perfect, and I know that the devices are not perfect, but I still make the mistake that in like the first seconds, first moments, I want to hear like a studio recording. And
yes, you're anticipating
I'm anticipating
very good studio quality, and then you are hit by the mobile microphone.
Yeah, so like the first 10, 15, 20 seconds is like completely what's happening, and I'm kind of lost. And then of course I'm getting used to the situation, and I can put it away. I mean, these thoughts that I have to hear like a studio recording.
Yeah, I mean, it's an interesting point, because obviously we want the best when we're listening to something. I think we will get used to it, and also I think the people who does it, or like people who record, I think, at least for me, when I've done these phone recordings, I've also been like kind of ashamed, or not ashamed, but I've kind of like skeptic of it afterwards, because like, oh, it's not me, So I think those people also want to improve and do better. And then if you have the resources, you will buy a new microphone or whatever, and try and do better. Because I think it's not only also the artists want the best image they can get, or the best product they can get, right? So if it means something to you, I think you should also invest in it. And it's a great investment, to be honest. I mean, you can always use a microphone for something anyways.
That's true.
So I agree with Jonas, but in one way or another, we are still guitar players. So I just found out that I was recording, and at the point I was just disappointed by the quality of the microphone. So I was not paying attention to my interpretation. I was just looking, this recording sounds so bad, I have to do some changes. So I believe that we should still stay grounded and think about how we play. Of course, it's really important, the audio quality, but if you just think, this record is so bad, you will just forget that you're playing the guitar, and it's music after all.
Yeah, true.
Okay, guys, we have exactly 1 more minute, so I think we should keep it short. If somebody wants to add something, or if somebody has some questions, maybe Reiko, since she's the only one with image, And Tudor or István, if you want to add something, we have less than a minute. Your microphone, okay.
Can you hear me?
20 seconds.
Okay. I cannot hear.
Okay, then, okay, let me finish. So we have 20 minutes break, and then I will send you a new link for the guests. We have the link in the description that I told you or on the poster of the conference. We meet in 20 minutes, and then we'll discuss the next topics, teaching. Hello, everyone, once again. I am Flórián Babțan-Varga, and here with me is Francisco Luís from Portugal, Jonas Egholm from Denmark, Girán Péter and Tóth Álmos from Hungary, and Beke István Ferenc is connecting with us. He's right here. And we already discussed two of our topics for today, the concerts in the pandemic and the competitions. We go on with the teaching and learning and practicing. So with the teaching, I don't know, maybe Álmos and Péter, maybe one of you could start the topic if you are ready.
Okay, so welcome back, everybody, or hi, everybody. So as I mentioned, I'm currently teaching at the University of Szeged in Hungary, and so about this whole pandemic situation, when it hit in March, it was so nobody saw this coming. That in Hungary, the education kind of changed to online during like 2 days or so. So nobody knew anything. At one day we got the news that they will close the primary and secondary schools, high schools. And after like 2 days after this, we got the news that, okay, so from tomorrow, you don't have to go and teach in live at the universities. So it was kind of a very sudden change for us. So they gave us a week to adapt. Well, I think the online education in regarding music, not just guitar but music overall, is kind of bad, to be honest. So I really don't like it at all. There are like one or two positive things which we had to do, but I don't think this would be a good way to follow. So what I have found out is that there are students now talking about like university levels. So there are students who still, there are students who know what they are doing, and if you tell them to like practice like this, do that, they have the level to hear what they are doing and to reflect and react and try to find solutions. But most of the time there are those who don't yet have these abilities or are not yet on this level. And in these cases, I think it was very hard to go and develop themselves during this 5 months. What this whole online education is good for, or what was good for, I think, is the way that they must make videos from 1 week to another and listen to themselves and try to hear their own mistakes. Because as I found out, many of the people don't even hear their mistakes or hear that, for example, if there is like a line which he has to play legato and he doesn't hear if he plays it legato or not. So this is like an extreme example, but it happens. But this way, he has to listen to him or herself. And I think this is probably the only positive thing I have found during this last half a year. And there were students with whom we started working on like colors, tones, different like right-hand angles and left-hand positions and whatever. And we couldn't really continue because even if I was so I could have been doing that. I was trying to adjust his hand. Like, okay, so finger 4, 2 millimeters to the left and whatever. But it would be just way easier if I went there and positioned his or her left hand and problem solved. So I think we had to drop all these stuff. So like colors, tones, positions, whatever, to this semester. And it was really difficult for me. But I think what I've gained from this last half a year is that now I'm much more in knowledge of how to say something with words, not just go there and change his or her like left-hand position and okay, play like this because this is good. But now I'm much more aware of what I am doing and what they have to do and try to tell it with words. So I think these are like the most positive things of this whole online education in terms of like university levels or like working with 18, 20-year-old people. That's it.
Yeah, I think this age group, this grown up age group is a little bit easier to work with because they really understand that if you tell them to move your left hand a little bit higher on the fretboard, they know what the fretboard is, they know which one is the left hand. But I think this online stuff is the worst with little children because they absolutely have no idea what they are doing. Sometimes if they have just now started to play the guitar, sometimes they don't even know which way is up, which way is down, because for us up is the way that the pitch is getting higher. For them the up is which is up there, so that's here at the head of the guitar. So it's very, very difficult for them. And usually small children don't invest so much money into good audio equipment. So and also the quality of the internet is crucial. So I noticed that even some of my older students who had very good high quality, high-end telephones, their internet connection was poor and the quality of the sound was unimaginably bad because it not just depends on the device but also the internet connection. So teaching in live is almost a waste of time. I think the only way to teach quality music is through recordings and reflecting on recordings. And since Peter mentioned some positive things, I also think there are some positive things that we can maybe implement in our real life scenarios. Is that I've grown a habit of using PDF scores with the students and writing each and every little detail I wanted them to play, because that way it was much more clear. Because if we are in person, I can show them, I can position, like Peter said, position their hands, position their the angles of the fingers, of the nails. It's much more easier to do it in person. And for me, it's okay. I think that they will remember it at home, but sometimes they are not remembering things. And by this writing everything exactly down in the PDFs in this way, maybe it was a little bit more effective, and probably it's something to learn from, because this way I can, from
second to millisecond, I can ask them, oh, okay, did you try to improve this part of the piece, or was it just that you practiced it, but it was not yet implemented into the whole piece? So I think for me that was the only benefit, this experience, that sometimes writing every single thing in the score is better than just explaining and then leaving it up to the student. So I think for little children, I have no solution. That was just mainly about survival and hoping that they will not stop playing the guitar. And when we went back to school, they still have some inspiration. So that was really just surviving.
Just one fun fact. While I was like teaching like 4 hours one day, and when I'm teaching live, 4 hours is like nothing. I'm fresh after teaching 4 hours. But when I was teaching online, after teaching 4 hours, I was feeling totally devastated for that day. So it's, I don't know, maybe it's just me, but I was feeling that this is taking away so much of my energy. I can't say really why, but I was just feeling this way. So there were like days I was only teaching like 3 hours, but I didn't do anything else because I was feeling like I started at like 11 and taught until like 2 o'clock. And I just went back to the room, sat down, and was just not doing anything productive that day. I don't know why.
Yeah, it's
I
exhausting.
agree. Actually, doing these online things are, I mean, it works to some extent, but it is way more exhausting. I think that you have a point, Peter, in the fact that you have to be more creative in different ways, right? So you have to, for example, explain things with words instead of just being able to show it. You have to explain it to them. Even small fingerings. I've done some online masterclasses, and I'm lucky to teach live in Denmark with distance with my students. But the online masterclasses and stuff, you have, even with like fingerings, I've had to, because it's hard to see over Zoom and stuff like this, and it can be really hard. So you have to explain every single thing, and it takes more time and more effort to do. It's the solution. It's the only thing we can do, really, but it is way more exhausting for sure. I agree with you. But I think you're right that we're getting better explaining with words then, and that's at least a positive thing, I think.
Maybe we can ask István about his experience while teaching in the music academy last year.
Yes, I'm the same opinion. To teach face-to-face and personal contact, that is the most important. We tried a lot of possibilities, Skype, Facebook, but didn't work well because what you guys told before. First, the audio video equipment they didn't have, the student didn't have, and the other thing, the internet. And what I did, I asked them to record themselves, and I think that was the best solution. And they learned a lot of things about they recording themselves, because they have to listen it back, and sometimes they find out some mistakes, but they thought they didn't did before. But I really don't like this online situation, because how Péter told before, that it's really difficult to explain the sound example, because the angle of right hand, if it just is changing a little bit, the sound is changing a lot. But sometimes it's really difficult to do online, because if you are face to face, you can show it easier, or just do it. And I hope that online situation, it will be short and not too long time. Takes a long time.
Okay, so maybe we can change the topic a little bit to the other part, so the learning online. What do you think about that? Personally, I had the chance to watch lots of videos. There are lots of guys, like tone bass, like Johannes Möller nowadays, who are doing lots of online workshops, like Facebook Live workshops, and you can watch them, you can learn new things from them, and with the practicing again. So I think there are plenty of new things, like new information and really good quality information that starts to show up online these times. And I think we should all take these opportunities and learn from those, because we can't do it live. We can do, you can do master classes. I saw that I think Johannes Müller has like one master class for $150 or something like that. If you can pay it, you can do that live, but still live through the internet. So you can rather watch a few workshops on Facebook. And I think there are so many precious information nowadays on the internet, even on Facebook. Like if you find some good Facebook groups, you can learn from those. Like we do it right now with this conference. We did a video conference series starting from I think March until August. We have like 11 presentations about various topics. I did one about contemporary and modern sonatas for classical guitar. Péter did one about flamenco music, and Álmos about Baroque basso continuo. You can find everything. You can find everything on YouTube and on our Facebook page. So I think there are plenty of things where you can find some information and learn things online. I don't know what do you think about this, but I think these online times gave us the chance to look a little bit farther away and look for things to learn. Not just wait and okay, I'm a student at a music academy, my teacher will teach me everything, because no teacher will teach you everything. So I think this is a good step forward to some of us and a huge step backwards to some other ones. But please let me know, what do you think about it?
I think that, well, still about the teaching and learning, I know there's a lot of people complaining about that, and I totally understand, which is the low Wi-Fi that creates problems. The fact that you are talking while the student is playing, and all of these inconveniences, I think they could be avoided much easily if the student just records what he has to play and then sends it to the teacher, and the teacher gives a very detailed feedback. I'm not saying that this is a solution for everything, but I think it could work way better, because you avoid the problem of the Wi-Fi. And you can just listen to actually the performance or what the kid is really thinks about the music, and then you can really give a detailed information about what you hear, and maybe when you're home, if you're not really doing live lesson, you can also hear it with better quality. So for example, you pick up how do you call it, a converter, like a sound converter, I don't know how you say it in English. Anyway, it's something to like something to modify the sound, something like I don't know how to say it in English, but you put this device, and then you put the headphones, and this device turns the quality into a higher to HD quality, something like this. Anyway, if a student sends you a video, maybe you can also like listen to the things with better quality, so you can notice better details. So maybe what I think is that in teaching, instead of we having a lesson online, we could just like send the material and the things that we worked home, and then the teacher listens and gives this detailed information. It's not like a real lesson, but you will have a more precise, and I think you'll have a more precise feedback. That's the idea I have. I don't know. I had online lessons with Carlo Marchione last year while I was teaching in Maastricht, while I was still studying in Maastricht, and he's very good doing it, but the feeling is always the same. There's always troubles with Wi-Fi. There's always troubles when he's like trying to explain something by playing, and I try to play it back. There's always, sometimes I play over him, sometimes he does the same. There's always these inconveniences, and I feel that if I would have sent him what I studied, he could give me a way more useful advice. I don't know. What do you think?
I feel like when I'm teaching, most of the time I'm singing or playing together with the students, and like this is my way of teaching, and my way of passing information. And this whole teaching through Skype or Messenger or whatever platform, this takes away this possibility from us to work exactly at the same time together.
Yeah.
So we have to kind of listen what the other plays or says, and we have to respond to that. So it doesn't really feel like a live class or lesson, but I know this is the best we can do this way. I was also asking my students to record videos and at first listen to them themselves and try to tell me their thoughts about their own playing or their own recordings. And then, of course, I was giving kind of detailed feedback to them. And later we were working on these feedbacks, based on these feedbacks in kind of a live connection. But still, this is not the...
It's not ideal, but I think in terms of results, it could be way more efficient, I think.
Yeah. You wanted to say something?
Yeah, I just wanted to say that I think for higher education levels where really you're dealing with professionals, this is the way to go. I think that this is the only way to make some kind of quality work with the music, because this live connection is so poor. And the thing is that if you're working with smaller children, they need the real live connection. At least that's my opinion, because for small children you cannot ask them to make a recording themselves. Sometimes they don't even own a phone, they are using their parents' phones, and their parents are setting up the phone for them, so it's not like they can just use it anytime they want. And you have to talk to them to keep up this personal connection, because it's also very important for music education. Not just that, we are not only talking about music. Music is just another way of personal improvement for a lot of people, because of course if you're talking about professionals, it's about, okay, can I play it with apoyando or can I play it with tirando, or do I play it with third or fourth finger? That's for the professional level, of course. But for the little children, it's improving attention span, improving personality, and this can be only done, I think, in these kind of live situations, and this is what is really difficult in these times, I think.
Yes,
I think the higher education levels are manageable, somehow manageable, and we can make improvements improve the quality of play of the student in higher education, but the little children are suffering the most from it, I think. It's not even like that the teachers are suffering. Who cares about the teachers? But the little children are suffering way much.
Yeah, what I was saying was mostly applicable to not really young kids, because of course with that, it's always really hard. There's really not a solution, and the live solution is really the only one to make the one. But only from a certain age onwards. So yeah.
I totally agree.
Regarding learning, with Álmos, we're both. I mean, he's not anymore, but last semester we were both students, like doctoral students, and we had some classes or lessons online, and most of the time they were not focusing on music itself. I mean, not like playing any instrument or like music theory or music history or whatever, but some like presentations, how to make a good presentation with like a PowerPoint or whatever. And I think these classes are much more manageable online than the music classes we had. I'm also kind of studying Spanish, and I started last year, and we also had to go online, and it was not so much different than studying in live. And okay, of course, my teacher was not sitting like 1 meter from me, but still, I think it's much easier to to explain with words, like studying a language or studying like these presentation classes, than music.
Yeah, I agree. I guess
Maybe this is something we are lacking, and we should concentrate more on speaking and explaining.
But maybe it takes away the magic.
Okay.
That's great. Okay, guys. So we have 14 minutes less and one topic. This is the organization, and I would like to ask István if he's with us to tell us something. István, can you hear us? Okay, I don't know if he can hear us, then I will start. He even disconnected. Okay. No, he's here. So, István, can you hear us? Your microphone is closed.
Yes,
Okay.
but sometimes I have no internet connection, and that is why, because we are driving, and that is sometimes I lose the discussion.
Yeah. No problem. So, tell us a little bit about the organization. Of course, I know a lot about it, but I would like you to start the topic.
About the organization, yes.
Yeah.
This year it was much more difficult, like in the last years, because how in the beginning of the year we won some projects with some money. After these 2 or 3 months, they announced us we cannot get this budget, this money. After this, a lot of project. As them, we have to make a lot of declaration. It was a lot of bureaucracy, but you have to know in Romania the bureaucracy is huge. But in this year, it was much more difficult everything to organize. But we tried. We talked from in the beginning. We talked with Flórián. I would like to organize like a real festival, and we should do harmony accords like in this way. If I compare, we lost a lot of money comparison the last year. It was really difficult because in the last week before the festival, we have to change like 10 players. And we was working, and Flórián and me just talk with the other players who can enter, and who
Yes,
that was a really difficult situation, because we already printed the posters, and the guys from Hungary 1 week before, they told the university where they are teaching they doesn't let them to come in Romania, and we have to, in the beginning we did like 3 programs. After this, we decide we will invite more players from Hungary, because it's really close with Romania, and if we don't have flying possibilities, they could go by a car. And I think that was the worst idea, because we have to quit all of the players from the Hungarian last minute. And but we were lucky because we could find some players from France, and we have to check the possibilities, the flying possibilities, because we have just a couple airplane, and not from the other countries. And that was the other thing. We sometimes we have to get flights to Bucharest, not in Cluj. That was like 500 kilometers from Târgu Mureș. We had to send cars there. And I think you guys who've been on a festival, you know what's happened with the Russian players. We actually, I think that this was illegal. They didn't let them to enter in the country. because they just arrived there and they have contract and everything. And after this, somebody from the border decide to play music that is not a work, and they after this decide they doesn't let them in Romania, and they have to stay in a duty free. And after this, they couldn't go to talk to change the plane tickets, and we have to do everything. It was a lot of really difficult situation, but we could manage. And I think the Harmonia Cordis Festival, who been there, nobody didn't felt like it's a pandemic time. Everybody was happy, and we could do all the master classes and competition. And what about the competition? You talked about before what how is to record, but I think we started last year this first sound to be just recorded, and the final it will be face to face. And that is other discussion. What is what's the opinion about the competition to be recorded or just to be to be like here? But I think the first one should be recorded, but the second, the final, have to be face to face. And can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes, because sometimes
Yeah, we know. No problem.
Yes,
So
no, but and I thought the second festival, the Harmonia Cordis, we could do how we decided. Yes, we had to play. Yes, we have to change a lot of players and a lot of things, but we could do all the concert. Yes, we had to do all the concerts outside. We couldn't do any concert inside, but the weather it was with us, and we really had a really nice weather, and everything was for free. And now, what we have this festival. When we decide, we try to do with a limited audience inside concert, but in before 1 week they changed, and still I am happy because the casino let us we organize the concert like in this way. We stream the concert because the university didn't let for the teacher to go there and keep the master classes. And that was, I think, the worst situation, and what I never imagined before. The teachers and the students are in the same city, and the teacher is staying in the hotel room, and the student at home, and they are doing online lessons. I wasn't agree with this situation, but we couldn't do anything else. And I hope that was the first and last time.
I totally agree. So I don't know if I told some of you or not about the changing of guests at Târgu Mureș. I had 2 folders in my laptop, one with the guests who are coming and another one with the guests who are not coming anymore. And they are kind of the same, you know, so it's like 2020. It's really funny. So about that, I think when we do organize something, because we can't just sit at home and don't do nothing. I think when we do organize something, and I learned this lesson, I learned it very hard. We have to be very, very well prepared and informed, especially informed. So when the Russian guys were not allowed in the country, if we would ask the border control before that, even if there is no information online or anywhere about the thing that they are not allowed, if we would have asked the border control, they would have told us, and we could have avoided this, but nobody knew. So I think we need to be really well informed, and we have to check everything before we do something. It was the same when you, Jonas, came, and when Mateusz and all the other guys came to our last festival. I was calling every embassy and every border control just to be sure that everybody will be here. I made all the translations and I prepared all the files, you know, in good time. And even when I was writing just an invitation to somebody, I tried inviting many guests to even to this festival. When I start writing the invitation, I download his picture, I start translating his life in 3 languages, just to be sure that if he accepts, I will have everything prepared in good time. So I will not do everything one night before the festival. And even in these conditions, I was doing like the masterclass schedule the night before the masterclasses. So at 12 o'clock, I was still writing the schedules, and tomorrow at 10 in the morning, the masterclasses are starting. So it was crazy. And we don't have many options. So this is what we are doing. We have to do it somehow. We just have to be.
I think that's probably that's one of the reasons that you are one of the only festivals who are still doing live concerts. I think it's because of the amount of work you have to put behind getting someone to a country, arranging concerts and stuff like that in these times. It's just inhumane, or like it's impossible to do all that paperwork, you know. István told me that he still has a month of paperwork to do from Harmonia Cordis. You know, there's so much to do even after the festival, which I don't arrange festivals, but I guess you normally have to do a lot of paperwork afterwards. But with all this stuff, you know, I understand. I have sympathy for other festivals because it must be so hard, you know, having to do all this stuff. And for many people, obviously, the easy solution is to either cancel or do it online, you know. But yeah, I mean, I'm really grateful for people like you who put in the work, because it makes it way better for me and other guitarists, you know, to get the experience.
You know, actually, during the whole paperwork, not necessarily paperwork, just arranging the festival, writing all the schedules. When I go to sleep, I have nightmares that I'm still working, and I wake up in the morning and I'm so tired and I have to start again. It's just so much fun.
During October, we also had the Guitar Festival in Szeged, which is also part of the Eurostrings platform. And originally, the Szeged Festival is in April. We had to cancel it. I mean, I'm not in the organizing section, but I was studying there. I'm teaching there now, so I'm kind of connected with the festival a little bit. So we had to cancel the festival at first, or at least postpone it. So we decided to postpone it to October. And at the beginning of October, we had some new rules by the Hungarian government that you cannot hold, like live concerts and live events and whatever. And also, like if anybody from any country comes to Hungary, you have to stay 2 weeks in quarantine and whatever. So this just completely destroyed the possibility for a live festival. So they decided to make it an online festival. So that's still better than nothing, but I think live presence is so really invaluable. And that's what you are really doing great, István and Flórián,
yes.
About this whole Harmonia Cordis festival.
Thank you, guys. So we have 1 more minute. So if anybody has some questions. Okay, I guess no. So thank you once again, guys. Thanks everybody for being here with us. It was a really great experience to talk through these topics. I think we are all really involved in all these things right now. And I'm happy that we could discuss some of these topics with professionals. And I hope we will meet sometime soon in real life again. And we can do another great festival or something like that. And that's it. Thanks for being here with us, and take care.